And in that other news, Rishi Sunak is facing the prospect of a major backbench rebellion over his plans to ban smoking for all of those born after January the 1st, 2009, with many Conservative MPs angry at what they say is an attack on personal liberties. Well, let's speak now with our political editor, Christopher Hope, who is inside the Commons there. Well, yeah, you're inside the Commons. Chris, so as I understand it, there's been a lot of flack towards the Prime Minister today from his own MPs. What's the latest?
Yeah, there's a debate all day today in the House of Commons. It's a free vote of Tory MP, all MPs in fact, on this Rishi Sunak plan set out at the party conference last year to ban smoking for anyone aged 15 or under. The smoking ban age will increase over decades until we are a smoke-free nation. That's the idea, but it's caused some havoc in the chamber of the House of Commons. Tory MPs, Tory right-wingers are very upset about what they see as an attempt to control the freedom to smoke, even though, of course, it may put a cost onto us all through NHS care, but equally they do pay their taxes, smokers, don't they? One of those who has said, and others have said in the chamber, that this effectively infantilizes people, treats them like children rather than adults. One MP concerned about it, who's made 3 interventions so far, is Andrew Rosindell, who's the MP for Romford. Mr. Rosindell, thank you for joining us today on GB News. What have you been saying in the chamber?
Look, none of us want young people to smoke. It's not a good thing. No parents want their kids to start smoking at an early age. But we live in a free society, and the best way of dealing with these things is for people to understand the implications but then make their own choice. It's not for the government to start dictating to people how they live their lives. You could finish up banning all kinds of things. It's not the Conservative way, and Liz Truss was absolutely right. This is nanny state. This is government interfering in people's lives. By all means, educate people about the effects of all kinds of things, whether it's cigarettes, whether it's fatty foods, whether it's anything you do in life that you enjoy which may not be good for you, but let people choose. Surely that's what the Conservative Party should stand for, freedom of choice.
So your party is instead banning cigarette smoking for anyone 50 and under. Why is it doing this?
I don't really know, because actually the amount of very young people now starting to smoke at early ages has dropped dramatically. I was told in the chamber, several MPs mentioned it's gone down to 1%. It's a tiny amount, so evolution is the answer. Gradually it may well die out. It may become a thing of the past, but that should happen naturally. It's not for the government to start banning things at this stage. It's not worked in New Zealand. They tried it there and it fell apart. It didn't happen. We're making the same mistake. I suspect, Chris, that civil servants are behind this. I suspect that it's been put on the desk of ministers and they've decided to run with it, but I suspect it's come from the civil servants. I think, frankly, our government has better things to do at this time. There's more important legislation to pass.
Is it legacy planning by the Prime Minister? He looks like he might lose the election when it comes later in the year, probably the autumn, and then he's out. But he can say, well, I did make Britain a smoke-free nation.
It could well be. I don't know. I can't speak for the Prime Minister. What I would say to the Prime Minister is that the British people voted for a Conservative government with an 80-seat majority, and they want Conservative policies. I'd much rather see legislation be introduced to deal with the transgender problem following the Cass report. I'd much rather see legislation to deal with immigration, because it's got out of control and the British public are angry about it, or crime. There are bigger issues to deal with. Banning smoking at this stage is really not what we should be doing.
And was not in the manifesto voted on by people in their millions in 2019.
No, it wasn't. But then I suppose we could say, if you're bringing this in that wasn't in the manifesto, maybe we can bring in legislation to come out of the ECHR, because that wasn't in the manifesto either, but I'd like to do that.
You never miss a trick, Andrew Rosindell. Quickly to ask you about this NatCon event in Brussels. I know you've been in the chamber all afternoon, but in summary, Nigel Farage spoke there, Miriam Kate, Suella Braverman, but the police have been trying to shut it down on the orders of the mayor. What's your reaction to that?
Well, it's outrageous. It's a disgrace. Freedom of speech is something that we uphold. I have attended many international Conservative conferences over the years. I used to be chairman of the European Young Conservatives and the International Young Democrat Union, global conservative network of right-of-centre parties. There's always going to be people there that you disagree with, but it's about freedom of speech and dialogue and debate and looking at the issues and coming up with new vibrant policies, working with people of like mind. Nothing wrong with that. Surely, if we can't have freedom of speech, we are in big trouble in this country.
And just finally, votes tomorrow in the Commons, because some of those amendments have been made by the House of Lords to the Rwanda bill. What will happen tomorrow?
Well, I don't know. I hope the House of Lords will realise that they don't have a mandate to block the elected House of Commons on this issue. We've heard their views, always respect the views of the House of Lords, but they're wrong on this issue. The British people want to see the illegal boats stopped, and the way to do it is to have a third place to send people to deter more illegal boats from coming over.
Well, Andrew Rosindell, thank you for joining us on GB News. Andrew Rosindell there, concerned about the Rwanda boats policy might be law by Thursday, Martin, and very concerned about the ban on cigarette smoking, but backing the PM on his concern about this NatCong event in Brussels being attempted to be called off by the Mayor.